So we're going to go over into our post element, or our post component, sorry. We're going to add a few functionalities. Let's go to the first post. So if we look at how it's supposed to look, go back, go to the post. All right, so it looks like we changed the post to be in a card, and then we added these edit and delete post buttons. So let's go ahead and do that. Since we now have our card element, we can use that within this post component. So we don't have to reuse code. Great. So first, let's go ahead and import card from /card like this, and we'll go ahead and just create a new card, and we'll say the title is equal to this.state.title, and we'll say the body of it, or the kids, I guess, the children. It's just going to be this.state.body, like so, card, and just like that. We now have it styled. Oh, no we don't. Cannot read href of undefined. Okay, so all right, so now we have a problem with our props going through, and this is why we use the prop types, is because of these errors right here, so you don't run into them. So if you go to cards, you'll see there isn't a default prop on action, meaning that whenever you load this card, you're going to try and load this link. Well, action isn't here, and we don't necessarily want an action, but we need a way to handle what happens if there is no action set. So the way to do that is it's basically an if statement. It's how you do an if statement in JSX. You just put the curly braces, and you say whatever property you want to say exists. So if you say action, if action exists, and you do the ampersand, double ampersand. If ampersand exists, then render this JSX. Okay, and we're going to close the curly braces there. So now this will only be ran if an action is defined. And now it works. Action.href is no longer being checked because it no longer even gets to that point. And that is how we fix that. Okay, so let's see what else. What's the next step? Let's go ahead and do the edit post. Okay. So first thing we need a row for our buttons. So we'll go div.row, and we'll do a we'll do a div.call.swap.write on, do that. Okay, cool. Now we're going to put our buttons in here. So button.btn, and this is just going to say edit post, like so. Why did we not close? So this is an interesting thing in React, is that it says adjacent JSX elements must be wrapped in an enclosing tag. If you notice, we are returning two objects side by side. You typically want to always load them within one element. There's ways around that. You can use what's called a fragment element, and you can do two side by side, but we're not going to get into that right now. Instead, this is actually just a small error on my part. We want everything to be within the section div, so we don't actually want to close this div. We just want to push this over a little bit, and then add a div class. Okay, so now it's all within one div, one JSX element. Cool, so we got our edit post. Doesn't do anything. Let's make it do something. So we're going to do the onClick is equal to, and we're going to give it a method, a class method of this.toggle edit. Cool. And then also, I believe I had a little pencil there. So I'm gonna go ahead and just copy this over from what I have. So I'm gonna, it's really getting annoying. I think there's a default setting I gotta check. Okay, so now let's see if this works. And actually I know it's not gonna work because we don't have material icons in here just yet. We imported materialize CSS, but unfortunately that doesn't come with these material icons classes. So let's go ahead and put that in real quick. Go back to our app, and we're actually gonna open up a new tab, and we're gonna do yarn add material design icons. And then while that's loading, we'll go ahead and do the import. We'll say import material design icons. And it's going to be /icon font /material-icons.css. Okay. Let's go ahead and save that. And then once this has loaded in, that'll look good. Yeah, getting this error while this is installing. If we actually look at how our edit post works, when we click edit post, we want a whole form to be generated, or not generated, but we want it to appear. So anytime we have a boolean like that, the boolean is it true, is it false? So do we want edit mode true, or do we want edit mode false? If edit mode is true, load the form component. If not, don't. Easy enough. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go into our, back to our, where'd it go? Our post component. And we're going to add a new state. And this state is just going to be edit mode. And we're going to set it to false. So by default, it's going to be off. So now, if we go back and we say, put the function toggle edit, which is what we called right here on the edit button. So toggle edit, right? So when toggle edit is called, we want to set the state of edit mode to be the opposite of whatever it currently is. So to do that, you put the exclamation mark and you say this dot state dot edit mode. This will change it from false to true or from true to false. Okay, great. Now we need to put a Boolean function to load a form if the edit mode is turned on. So after this button row here we got going on, we're going to put a new row. And within this row, we're going to put another form. This could be an area where you could combine, dry up your code and use the form from your new post component. But I'm just going to copy and paste this again just to save a little bit of time. But it would probably be in your best interest. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to copy and paste from the new post. Again, you should make this its own component. But yeah, for the time being, let's just get this over here and show you how we can then edit our post. So I don't know why that took so long to install. I think it's just because I'm recording a video. My processor is just terrible right now. Okay, so this should be recompiling. Yeah, so that's doing its thing. Okay, so where were we? So we have this row right here. We only want this row to show up if edit mode is on. So we say this dot state dot edit mode if that is true, and you're just going to load whatever's to the right. So we're just going to put a parentheses and cut that out. And we'll go ahead and put this whole row over and paste that in. And let's tab this over. Okay, so only if edit mode is turned on is this whole form going to load. Go ahead and save that. Okay, so if we turn the edit button, and we're getting an error. What are we getting? Cannot read properties set state of undefined. Because we did not bind toggle edit. We gotta bind it up in the constructor. So we'll say this dot toggle edit is equal to this dot toggle edit dot bind this, like so. Okay, go ahead and save that. Let's try it again. Edit post. Bam. And since we're using this .state.title, it's already, the data is already there, so that it would actually be extremely useful to take this out, put it in its own component, and just reuse it for both of these things. Okay. So now we have here, we can, now we get an error. We can't actually edit it. Why not? Because we have the onChange method for these text inputs to be functions that don't exist in this component. So we're going to do update field, and this is going to do essentially the same thing I did in here. Just going to copy this, post, update field. Okay, that looks good. Oh, no, it doesn't. Like that. Then we have to bind that function. Update field, like so. Now we should be able to update the field, and it actually updates on there, which is pretty cool. However, this is not, if we go back to home, it's not actually updating it. And the reason is because we don't ever save it to our data layer, or our post file. So now what we have to do is, well, one, let's change this button from create post to update post, like that. And what we're gonna do then, so if you see the on submit is using the previous function, submit post. So we're gonna have to put that in here as well. Whoops. Well, we want to actually change it from submit post to update post. Update post. And we're going to want to do a prevent default on this, e.prevent, so the form doesn't actually submit. And then once we do that, now we want to do a data override. And so this is going to be a little different than the new post function, because instead of just adding, where's it go? Where we're just adding a new property to our data, what we're going to have to do is edit the current property to the new state data. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to say the post this.props.match.params._id. Okay, so this right here gives you access to whatever object you are. So now where'd it go? We got to say the title is equal to this.state.title, and then we got to do the same thing for the body. Okay. Oh, whoops. Change that to body like that. So you could actually pull this out and make this a variable called const post is equal to that, and then just say post, and then just do like that, post body, and essentially do the same thing. Okay, cool. So let's see if that works. If you update the post, oh, getting errors. You say cannot read props of undefined. So right here, once again, because we did not bind that function of update post. So go ahead and bind it. Sorry. Is there anything else I missed? I got toggle edit, update field, update post. Okay, cool. So now it should work. Let's up. Edit post. Cool. Update post. Thanks, it works. If you go back to the home, you'll see it has indeed been updated. So now we just need some kind of UX, user experience, to show that it has indeed been updated. You could flash it green, you could do success messages, whatever you want to do. The easiest way though, and the way we're going to do it, is we're simply just going to take the edit mode off. So we're just going to say this.set state and object edit mode is equal to false. We don't want to toggle it because that we just want to turn it off. If we save the post or we update it, so we say my first post sorta, and we say real information here, and we do update post, it goes away. It's like, oh, okay, I guess it did update. Makes sense. Go back to home, say real information here. Cool. Again, if you refresh, it's just going to refresh to the default. Cool. Okay, so now we can edit it. Now let's go ahead and create a delete function. So in our buttons, in our button row, we're just going to add another button directly to the right, and it's going to be this dot delete post, and we're going to say delete forever, which is a nice little Google material icon right there, and change this to delete post. Now we have to add the functionality here. Right here, say delete post, and this is actually pretty easy. All you have to do is say delete, and you go posts, and then you put in, you basically just delete this. Do that, and that will delete it. Once we delete it, how are we going to show that it's been deleted? We're just going to go back to the home page, and it's not going to be there. So props.history.push / save that, and let's see what that looks like. Oh, well, let's make this delete post look like a delete. So we'll say, give it a class name of red. Cool. So now we delete it. Oh man, can't read props if undefined. Did I really not bind it again? I have a bad binding problem. Always gotta remember to bind your stuff. You can actually make a custom component where it automatically bind all your functions. That's definitely out of the scope of this video, but if you find yourself in the position that I am of always forgetting to bind your methods, you can do that. So you don't have to. I'm unfortunately used to not having to bind them because I have a custom component that I wrote for all my apps that auto binds it. Okay, so we delete it and it's gone. Second post and it's gone. If we create a post, new post. Yes, indeed. All right, cool. We can do that. We can edit it. We can delete it. We can update it. Go back home. All right. So that is it. We have finished our application. I hope you guys have learned a lot. This video is way longer than I initially intended. I apologize for that. I'm sorry if you got lost. Let me know if you have any questions about any features or anything you might want to add. Maybe I'll make another video if it's a really popular topic. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like this video, share it with your friends and developers and anyone who wants to learn React. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.